Hello, and I hope you're having a good May the 4th. Sure, you're all watching the Bad Batch, Clone Wars, etc. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do anything for the holiday because I'll be on vacation. But I didn't want to just let May the 4th pass without doing anything Star Wars related, so I decided to make a quick video for the special day. I'm sure you heard of the game Star Wars Empire at War, one of the most popular Star Wars games of all time. It's galactic campaign, from space to ground battles, battling for total control of the galaxy, but there are people who were able to push this game's potential beyond its limits with mods, which is what I'll be discussing. This is a list of my least favorite to most favorite mods from my own experience. Again, this is just my opinion, so don't take this as a fact. If you like these mods and feel like they deserve to be higher on the list, then that's fine. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion and shouldn't be judged for it. Now, let's start the count. Number 5, we have Awakening of the Rebellion, otherwise known as the Lose Simulator mod. Now, don't hate me for this being my least favorite. Perhaps I'm just not good at it, but boy does this mod suck. First, I will say there is quality in this mod. You can easily tell how hard and how much heart they put into this mod, how hard they worked at it. They did their absolute best and it shows. But that doesn't save it from its flaws. I gave the mod several tries and it's the same problem. I tried the first version, which is a million times worse than the current version, from ridiculous prices to excruciating build times to the unbalanced AI. You can start a brand new campaign and already have Darth Vader, the Executor, and 3 Imperial Star Destroyers where you even have a chance to do or build anything. You have ridiculous prices with a build time to match. I just want to make a new Nebulon B, and by the time it's at 5%, I lost 5 planets and I couldn't afford ground troops because I wanted to make a fleet to defend planets. It was obvious that it wasn't gonna help, so I did a new game and focused on ground troops, but before a single platoon could get finished, I already have 2 planets under attack and I can't defend them because I couldn't afford to make ships, and I couldn't afford it because I tried to make troops, and oh look, I already lost half my planets. So I finally finished my Nebulon B, only to get attacked and have it destroyed almost immediately by a stronger Imperial ship. Now I can't afford to make another because I spent all my credits on a fleet, and can't make ground troops because I attempted to make a fleet to defend my weak planets because I was too poor and I couldn't defend because my 3 ships I couldn't afford were still under construction, and it doesn't matter because that station was just destroyed and now I have no hope of defending. Anyway, the modern version 2.8.1 commenced ground assault, at least polished some of those flaws, but replaced it with a confusing system. Instead of using C-3PO and R2-D2 to go to Imperial planets and steal blueprints or go research centers as the Empire, you do space levels. The first one costs 10,000 credits and acts like a unit that can't be moved for some reason. You still build some ships, but to build more fighters, you need to build a starfighter station, which also acts like a unit that can't be moved. It takes some getting used to, but you're given so much stuff to manage, it's just a pain. The build time problem has been removed, everything is somewhat average, credit management is still present somewhat, but good luck trying to make an army to attack planets. By the time you're starting your batch of ships to make a fleet somewhat decent, you're already attacked by the Empire, who have cruisers that are more powerful than your available ships. Your best bet would be get the space tech level 1, but that takes a while and takes up most, if not all, your credits. Meanwhile, the Empire is mowing down your units. I had a slow start before. I managed to get a good amount of units on a planet. One planet I thought had the best defense, a shield, a lot of ground troops, etc. But it got attacked by the Black Sun, and for some reason the game lies when it shows what units are in the current fleet in orbit is not what it is on land. But this problem is with other mods, so I don't think it's the mod's fault. I guess it's just a reoccurring issue, I don't know. I had a decent defense, made turrets and got to defensive positions. The shield is a planetary shield, so there's no cover, but at least prevents bombing runs and bombardments. But it doesn't matter because it's like almost like all your units don't do any damage. Because after a long value defense, they just kept coming and wiped out all my units easily. Like, I didn't have a chance against their vehicles, mine just got destroyed. I had a full sense of security, felt like I may be able to do this, but they eventually just started murdering me from BS units in just unfair situations. I lost all hope. Then another planet gets attacked by the Empire and has a Victory-class Star Destroyer in it. I had very little ships, so I got destroyed. I ended up losing that planet due to not enough units to defend it, so I just auto-resolved, because what I saw with the Black Sun, I knew I would be delaying the inevitable. I hoped I could make a fleet to chase them off my planet, but eventually they invaded, and even when I tried to send them down there, and it was just pointless. I only had Corvettes and Nebulon Bs to make it, so there is no way I could even dream of beating their fleet. I hoped with enough Y-Wings and enough Nebulon Bs I could outlast them and eventually wipe them out, but before I had a fleet powerful enough, already Hoth was attacked. I didn't have a decent fleet there because I was still waiting for construction. Meanwhile, I'm being destroyed by factions with more powerful units, and it's just an endless cycle. I find the Galactic Conquest with this mod to be impossible. I'm not the only one complaining about this mod's issues. If you go to the comments section for the first version of the mod on the workshop page, there is a lot of people criticizing its balance. I'm sure I'm going off topic, but I'm not the only one who had a problem with this mod. We even found that the mod's AI is nothing like the one we saw YouTubers play with. It's more aggressive and seemingly endless credits and access to any ship and any ground unit it needs. We figure they were given a watered down version of the mod as to not chase people away with the difficulty or the obvious BS this mod clearly has. So don't say I'm the only one who thinks this mod has a lot of issues. The mod may have been developed and tweaked. It doesn't even mean it's still fair. I find the campaign to be unfair and it just takes the fun out of it. I like to win one battle for once, maybe conquer a planet. It would help if I didn't have the weakest units possible. Might as well be an Ewok against an AT-AT. For this video, I just had to try Skirmish. There has to be some kind of fun to be had. And I wondered if Skirmish is any better than Galactic Conquest. It was my first time, and it was just your first average game of Skirmish in the beginning. Get the mining facilities, etc. I managed to get a good start against the medium AI. I held my own against it, but for a while it started throwing stronger ships at me. I got a Hero Venator and some MC-191s, but after a while they were overwhelming me. Sure, we had good defense and my 2 Calamari ships were doing fine, but I wasn't getting an edge. They eventually made Imperial Star Destroyers, and I saw that they had a capital shipyard. I didn't know how, and I couldn't upgrade my station anymore. The AI was able to deploy more defense stations than me. 3 when I could only construct and place 1. I don't know, it's like I just put 1, and then when I go to one of their mining facilities, they had 3. And I looked, I could only make the 1. So, I guess that's fair. I made a thread on the discussions, and looked on Google and found nothing. So I decided to just construct the stations, because there were several others, like research stations, and a fighter station, upgraded it, got my own captain, and turns out I was right. It was a starfighter station. I was able to upgrade it and got my own capital ships, and it didn't take long to win. So sure, it's confusing at first, but once you get the hang of it, the skirmish for this mod is actually not bad at all. While it's unfair, the AI can do some things while you can't, which I assumed was an Empire perk. I don't know, it's just not bad, and you actually have a chance to fight back, which is what you don't have in the Galactic Conquest. So at least skirmish is playable. Otherwise, the Galactic Conquest is just to a scenario to see the rebels lose. Basically a simulator of what the original trilogy would be like without plot armor. Overall, it was a low rank to me. It was just a low rank for me. Where's my English going? The first version has a negative 50 out of 10, and the modern version gets a 1.2 out of 10. It would have gotten a 0, but the skirmish saved it. If you want my opinion, I would avoid this mod. I mean, skirmish is still playable, but if you just want to do Galactic Conquest, then avoid this mod like it's COVID-19. The next mod that barely beat number 5 for 4th place is The Fall of the Republic. This mod used to be higher on the list. Hell, it would have been number 1 if not for the newest update that brought this mod way down. It's such a disappointment too. Clone Wars was my favorite era, and this mod was my favorite Clone Wars mod. It surpassed the other 2. If not for the not having Ahsoka, I would say this mod had it all. Compared to the other 2, it actually had an AI that tried. It would make variety of ships to troops. They would even make the Malevolence. It gave you a challenge instead of making the same kind of ship in large numbers and spamming the same unit over and over hoping to get a win. It had most of the heroes, some missing. Besides just Ahsoka, there were several other Jedi missing, which compared to the other ones, they had pretty much all of them. And overall, I just love this mod. Sure, it was stupidly laggy, but I liked it. I happily thought of it as my favorite Clone Wars mod, but then, sometime in April 2021, an update dropped, and it just ruined the mod. It destroyed the mod faster than Palpatine's face in Revenge of the Sith. Everything unique about the mod, gone. I decided to call it the Thrawn update because it turned into a clone of the Thrawn's Revenge mod. Ironic considering it's a Clone Wars mod and the mod is now a clone of another. This mod was made by the same guys who made Thrawn's Revenge, and now it got the same treatment as Team Fortress 2. Gunmetal turning TF2 into CSGO, Fall of the Republic turning to Thrawn's Revenge. So many features from Thrawn's Revenge were brought over, to losing income on planets with fleets and units on them, to Jedi being deployed in 3, and are just a copy-paste of Thrawn's Revenge, same appearance, abilities, and behavior, to having some buildings for food. I mean, with Jedi, they have the heal ability, and when they die, you just hear Obi-Wan going, "Run, Luke, run!" It's just like, that's clearly not Luke. He wasn't even born yet. The income and crew, and a change to the units, and even the AI. The AI is evil now. It's like it's aware of how broken its units are. It sends a lot of AATs, artillery, and droid gunships. AATs have been given a range, quote-unquote, buff. It outranges any unit and any turret. The devs said that they're not meant to be relied on, when that is the purpose of the turrets in the first place, to help defend. So having a vehicle turret that can't destroy a vehicle and is outranged by a vehicle, it kind of beats the purpose. You might as well just replace it altogether. I don't know with what, but just get rid of it if you're gonna make it useless. It doesn't help that my units die trying to get in range of the AATs. I send saber tanks, but they like to hit the brakes when near a group of B1 battle droids, and they just get picked off by all the units, especially the AATs and artillery. Space I have no comment on because I didn't get very far. Not because it's overly difficult, I just didn't feel like continuing because it just felt so unbalanced. I hate the change to the mod, but at least it beats Awakening of the Rebellion. Its campaign is at least somewhat playable, even if it is unbalanced. I have to say before moving on that while going to get footage for number 4, turns out it got an update on April 28th, but I haven't played it long enough to find out if it was fixed or not. If they listened to what I said and changed it, I don't know. But I did record some footage of gameplay. It's not so bad. I managed to actually put up a fight. The ATs weren't that much of a pain, but it was kind of like close quarters, so they did outrange some turrets and I did have to go up to them, but I can't really say for sure if anything was fixed yet. Although, since it was Era 1, I couldn't make clones, and I'm unable to advance as far as I know. I made a thread and have yet to find out what's up. Number 3 is Thrawn's Revenge. Thrawn's Revenge is a very impressive mod. Its Galactic Conquest was like a campaign. From missions to unit variety, I love the AI. They use different ships and units. An AI that doesn't span the same unit, 1 or 2 units, is good to me. I love the challenge. The difficulty is perfectly balanced. Even Super Star Destroyers don't feel too difficult. It feels like an actual campaign as the Republic to finally free the galaxy of what's left of the Empire. Taking down leaders and advancing to the next era. There's no Vong, thank God, because I really don't like the Vong, but there is another version that actually includes them. It's based on the Vong. They're like kind of like the focus of it. You get what I mean. They're part of the little story, so. But I do like that about this mod. It has like a story and progression. There's like a certain area of the galaxy you can't get to because it's like the next chapter until you beat the next Empire's leader. And then you fight them and they have their own Super Star Destroyer. And I like that a lot. I have yet to play the Vong one though. I even beat Thrawn's Revenge once, and I almost made a fleet of Super Star Destroyers and Eclipse Star Destroyers, but the mod updated and I couldn't continue to save. And at a time when I did beat it, since I guess the mod wasn't complete, even if you beat it, it doesn't like do credits or anything. It's like, congratulations, you won. It just sits there, so technically, like I was told that it's like, you don't really win, it doesn't have an ending, but technically, you won, so. The mod changed a lot since then, however. It didn't feel the same. They even shrunk the Super Star Destroyers, and as far as I know, you don't seem to be capable of building a lot as I know. As far as I know. I haven't been playing it since then. I was always playing other mods, which will be brought up shortly, but Thrawn's Revenge is a really good mod, and I would give it a try. It's really good. May have changed, may have lost some of the things that made it really, really good. So it kind of got like watered down. That's the best way I can explain it. It's like a watered down version of what it once was. I can't speak. But overall, it's still a good mod. I just wish they didn't shrink the Super Star Destroyers, because they're like a Home 1 cruiser is like a little bit bigger in comparison. Like the size doesn't feel accurate. Number 2 is No Gembriz, if I'm saying that correctly, Republic at War submod. One thing I love is the Clone Wars, my favorite era. I always liked it because as a kid in Battlefront, the classic versions, I noticed they had more variety compared to the original trilogy. Even in the movies, they just had so much, and I just liked that. I loved it. The best way I like to describe how I feel about the original trilogy, the Empire, it feels like it's a shade of gray. And I'm not saying that because most of the walkers and all that are gray. I'm just saying it's like gray. It's just boring. Not that interesting. Usually just the same few types of vehicles and ships. The rebellion had variety, but nothing too impressive. It's like, yeah, they had different fighters and ships, but it's like, yeah, I guess it's like, it's not bad, but it's not like that exciting either. But I love the Mon Calamari cruisers. I really like them. My favorite is the Liberty class Mon Calamari cruiser. I don't know why, I just love that thing. It's just eye candy to me as a kid. You know, you see it a few times, but still. But in the Clone Wars, there were so many types of vehicles, ships, and droids. The CIS always had variety. Even the Republic has variety. Being able to play Clone Wars on Empire at War was exciting during the early years of this mod. They had different droids, and I just love the Clone Wars. So when I found out there was mods and I could play that, it was exciting. It's holy crap, the Clone Wars, I can finally play as the Republic. I can fight the CIS, and just, it's great. The AI is, however, questionable. It's not really as impressive as Fall of the Republic's or Thrawn's Revenge AI. If I recall, it never used that many different ships. This mod also has a weird credits glitch that has yet to be fixed. When you purchase something, instead of instantly draining, it would just quickly count down, which makes it very difficult to find out your current credit number. If you can't build it, then clearly you didn't have enough. But it seems almost endless, so I don't know. The mod has yet to be updated with a fix, but hey, at least they didn't make the same mistake EA did and added Ahsoka, which is nice. She's a separate hero unit and can be deployed with Anakin if you want. You can even trade in different types of clone battalions and platoons, so you can assign any Jedi they belong to. For example, you can make a separate army of the 501st for Anakin and a 2012 for Obi-Wan. But this mod does have crashing problems though. Capturing some planets causes the crash. I think auto-resolving works, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, but that kind of ruins the mod, makes it hard to progress. It'll probably correct your save or something. I can't remember if it still crashes or not, because I've been busy playing number 1 on this list. But before we go to that, I want to bring up some honorable mentions of mods that didn't make the list. The Canon mod. A mod I did like, it's of course, well, Canon. I've been craving a good Canon mod, but unfortunately this mod doesn't fully deliver due to addition of legends, heroes, and vehicles, which is a buzzkill. It would be nice if it had a campaign similar to Thrawn's Revenge, like you can continue through eras and all that if you do certain things. But I like the mod nonetheless. I just wish Ilum was fixed and had proper canon things. The Yoda mod, I never really played this mod enough. I wanted to play the era of the new trilogy, which this mod is the only one that does have that with the First Order and all that. But it's not what I had hoped. The Radis is just a very fat Home 1 Mon Calamari ship, and the Supremacy used to be a giant bomber, which doesn't really look Star Wars, with 2 hit points and a super laser for some reason, but it was eventually replaced with a proper model and hit points. The Radis also had a self-destruct ability for some reason. It can destroy any cruiser near it, so I assume it's a counter for the Supremacy, which the ship has a strength against. It has interesting features, but I never played it and was my mod of choice to uninstall to make space on my nearly full desk drive. Now my number 1 favorite mod is the Clone Wars mod. Not to be mistaken for the Republic at War mod, this one is mostly based off the Clone Wars TV series. Ew, not that one. Yeah, that one. This mod runs very cleanly. No lag on the map unlike Fall of the Republic used to, so it feels so different if you play a laggy mod for a while and put this one on. It even has Ahsoka, but unlike Republic of War, she is with Anakin and R2. They're in a group, but they have that ship, I can't remember, the Twilight, that's what it was. And R2 is unfortunately not that useful. He has an ability to turn droids to your side, but good luck getting him near a good amount of troops without dying to use it. The mod has Captain Rex, Cody, even Tor and company with familiar clones from the series in the 501st. Like Republic of War, you can train different platoons, battalions for your Jedi. The style of the ships look good. It's nice detail, nice graphics. It looks good. I like it. Our Republic at War's Venators have a beam ability and broadside ability. These shoot 3 beams, which is pretty much the same beam, like that's what it's supposed to be, but it's not as powerful, and it just fires individually, so it feels odd. It runs pretty smooth, although the AI is my problem with the mod, besides the occasional bugs. The AI likes to use the same cruisers and units, magnificent cruisers, commando droids, so it's not too hard to defend a planet if you got a shield and enough troops. Otherwise, you can just sit back and watch the AIs, B1, B2s, and commando droids run to your troops and turrets' line of fire. They use their heroes too, but not too effectively. The mod doesn't have that many crashing problems, a planet or two do, but nothing an auto-resolve can't fix. Otherwise, you can complete the conquest without a problem. I can fight the Clone Wars the way I want to without much concern. The mod stands out, especially compared to Republic of War mod, which got a Clone Wars update pretty much making a mirror of this one by adding the singular unit and clone groups, heroes, and etc. And that update, the Republic of War mod, went from challenging to having a good AI to fight, basically to a copy-paste of this mod's AI. So the Republic of War declined, although that isn't the reason it makes second on the list. I just like this mod in comparison due to its better features. If it had a smarter AI, this would be better than Fall of the Republic, which used to be outshine both Clone Wars mods, until it got the same treatment as BF2, giving it Battlefront 2, to be specific, the 2015 one, that by giving it an update that ruined it. But anyway, that's it for this list. This had to be rushed, so I'm sorry for the lack of quality. I was close to leaving for vacation with the family, so I didn't have a lot of time to put a lot of work into it. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and may the 4th be with you.